Am I natty or not?
How do we know that he's actually on testosterone? Am I just inventing a story? Did he put on so much muscle that no one could believe it? No. Someone literally just asked him, and so he decided to answer.
I am not natty anymore.
Coach Greg, in today's video, we've lost another one, and he goes by the name of Luke Di Paolo, the guy that says end video, and apparently he also wants to end his life a little bit sooner than expected.
I'm putting things in my butt.
Guys, you can't just use steroids and think that it's going to have no damage. I know that when you're young, you feel invincible, you feel like nothing bad could ever happen, but when you get older, you are going to regret it. And so, how do we know that he's actually on testosterone? Am I just inventing a story? Did I go after a before and after transformation? Was it just impossible? Did he put on so much muscle that no one could believe it? No. Someone literally just asked him, and so he decided to answer.
Are you still natty, or are you running test? I am not natty anymore. I'll leave you with that.
900,000 people watch this video, and so don't you think other people are going to say, well, you know, my idol, he decided to do it, I may as well do it as well. Now, I'm not knocking him, at least he's admitting it, at least he's not lying, he's not pretending to be a fake natty. But the more people who openly come out and start using performance-enhancing drugs, the more younger influencers are going to follow in their footsteps. To the same extent, I get a message from Eric English, who just finished a bulk. Remember, he's 16. At Greg Doucette IPB Pro, how are we looking after the bulk? And so guys, he's 16. And so when your favorite influencer, the person you respect, you admire, hops on, he starts using steroids, the people who are following him are going to think, well, maybe I should too. It becomes normalized. You become desensitized to the dangers of those performance-enhancing drugs. When I was 16, or frankly, when I was in my 20s, I didn't know anyone using steroids. I didn't have pressure. I didn't open up my Instagram account and think, well, look at all these incredible bodies. I didn't feel like I had to build any extra muscle. And so despite the fact that I was doing bodybuilding competitions, that I was competing against other people, I felt like I was good enough. Even without the steroids, natty Coach Greg, it was still enough. But in 2026, I'm actually amazed that anyone is able to stay natural. Every single day, you're bombarded with messages, videos, images on Instagram, YouTube, you name it, where people look incredible. And we know, just by certain titles alone, for example, Trend Twins, that they are using steroids, that this isn't natural. And so when not one, but 2, 3, 4, all of a sudden 100 of your favorite influencers are all admittedly using steroids, you're thinking, well, it's not that big a deal. I'm 16, peptide, steroids, it's normal. Mom, I waited until I'm 16, not like clavicular starting at 14. I'm 16, and so I'm now an adult. It doesn't work like that. Genetic Anomaly weighs in. He is vegan now. Generational fall off. Why would you hop on? Is that an actual question? Does people not actually know the answer? Oh, could you explain why you're taking steroids? I have no idea. Why do you think? Is it to have more muscle? To look better? To feel better? To increase your following? To win a bodybuilding competition? To improve the way you look? And remember, did he not just recently get single?
Me and my girlfriend of 2 years and a few months are not together anymore, who you guys know as the missus, no longer the missus.
I will not go on a villain arc. There will not be a villain arc. There will only be an awesome arc. And the joy and the whimsy begins now.
Guys, we should always be striving to be a better version of ourselves than we were yesterday.
I don't think that better version of ourselves requires using performance-enhancing drugs. Yes, it's going to make you bigger and stronger, perhaps look better, but it's not going to make you healthier, and you can actually improve without using steroids at all. Obviously, he could have used Turk Builder Max, but like, you already know this. I don't need to say this in every single video. And even if you're not using Turk Builder Max, there's a few people in the world that haven't tried it yet. I mean, the money-back guarantee, the $50 $50 gift card. Perhaps it's not motivation enough. I don't know. Maybe someday you will. But you don't need to use any supplements at all, and you certainly don't need to use steroids in order to improve your physique and be better tomorrow than you were today and better today than when you were yesterday.
I'm trying to show that even through hard times, you can still be positive and still, like, make a change in yourself. I don't have to sit here and act sad all the time because you guys are sad for me. And I appreciate all the support and all, like, the kind words you guys have said, but I don't see this as support. I like to post. I like to make videos. That makes me happy. If I need a break, I will take a break. I'm not scared to take a break. And I don't need to even tell you guys when I'm taking a break. I'll just take one. Obviously, I'm going to be hurting. But it didn't happen 2 days ago, like when I made the post. It happened almost 2 weeks ago now. So I've had my time to process things. And obviously, it's not done. But I'm allowed to post and be happy. Let me be happy.
When you do experience a breakup, I'm assuming it's a breakup. Maybe I'm wrong. But if it is a breakup, if it's not, if it's something else, regardless of what it is, oftentimes you jump to something that can give you the instant dopamine fix right now. Think of it. You're broke up. You're sad, depressed. You're lonely. And what do you have? Of course you have the gym. But when you're into the gym and you're on steroids, the gains are going to come every single day, at least every week. You're going to see yourself getting bigger, you see yourself getting stronger, and so you're not worried or thinking about the feelings you had for that girl. That is not the proper way to cope. Like, doing extra cardio, training harder than last time, none of that is bad, but if you resort to using steroids to help you to do that, especially when you're young, well, that is not the answer. And so please don't make these kinds of decisions that can affect you for the rest of your life when you're in a bad mood, when you're depressed, when you're feeling down, because you may in fact make the wrong decision. I wrote a comment. It said, "We lost another one, but at least he is not lying about it." Okay? I feel that's a fair statement. We lost another one. He's on steroids. He was natural. It was a good thing. And so we've lost another one. Remember, we had Alex Eubank. We lost him. We still have Jesse James West. We have Will Tennyson. We have Hussein Farhat. But many of our heroes, guys who were natural, are no longer. The comments, you always have shit to say. Yeah, I always say a bunch of stuff, you know. You can say it's a shitty comment. You can say it's a good comment. It depends on your perspective. And so if I said, hey, we've lost another one, I'm sad to see that he's no longer natural, I would have preferred him to be natural. You can hate me for that. You can hate yourself for that. You can hate the world. You can not hate the world. You're going to say, hey, Greg is entitled to his opinion. He made a post saying, I'm no longer natural. And I made a comment saying, hey, that makes me sad. I wish you weren't using performance-enhancing drugs. Does that make me a bad person by wanting him to be natural? To the same extent, I wish Eric English would stop using performance-enhancing drugs. Does that make me a hater? Does that make me a bad human being that I want other people to not use steroids? Is that really the hill you want to die on? That Coach Greg is bad because he discourages using steroids? You are genuinely so desperate, are you? I mean, I don't even understand the context of that. Am I jealous of Luke? I mean, he has more followers than me on Instagram. That's great. I'm not jealous that he has more. Frankly, I wish he gets even more. I hope he gets 2 million followers, 10 million followers. How does that affect me? Like, none of it affects me. If he's on steroids, it doesn't affect me. It's not me deciding. But it affects other people and their willingness and openness to also use steroids. And so if I'm trying to discourage this, to the same extent, I try to discourage people from drinking alcohol. I used to drink alcohol. I used to get drunk almost every weekend in university. And so just because I did something, just because I abused alcohol, because I abused steroids in my past, does that mean I'm not allowed to discourage other people from making the same mistakes as I did? Like, how is that bad? I don't understand. Yeah, you want Luke to be happy. You want him to do his thing. But you're also allowed to cheer for the person to do his thing while staying healthy. Bro said we as if he's not addicted to steroids and looking roided out. Greg, we know deep down if you were 30, you'd be doing it all over again. Actually, we don't all know that. And in fact, we know that I've stated that I would not do that. If I could redo it all over again, I would be one of the natty ones. Remember, I stayed natural for as long as I could. I stayed natural until I hit my natural genetic limit, and I decided then I want an IFBB Pro card. When I competed back in the day, in 2012, when I got a Pro card, when you won the drug-tested natural Canadian National Championships, the overall, you didn't get a Pro card. Did you know that I won this competition? I won the natural overall Mr. Canada, no Pro card. There was no classic physique, and so this was in open bodybuilding. If there were classic physique back then, do you think I perhaps maybe would have competed in classic physique instead of bodybuilding? And instead of thinking I need to weigh over 200 pounds of muscle as a 5'6" manlet, do you not think maybe I would have competed in the natural categories? If I could have got my natural pro card while being natural and competed as an IFBB pro, for example, in the Widers Cup, where they have drug testing, don't you think I would have taken that opportunity? I didn't have that opportunity. None of that was presented to me. And so I wanted to make a career in fitness. And so there was no natural sponsorship. Say, oh, Coach Greg, if you win the national Canadian Nationals, we're going to sponsor you. It's not how it worked. And so what do you think happened? I got huge sponsorships by winning my IFBB Pro card. That's what started it all. And so if I could redo it, if I was born 20 years in the future, I would be one of the natty ones. I would be competing in all the drug-tested natural bodybuilding competitions and saying, hey, I don't need the steroids. Have you looked at my physique when I was natural? Was it not aight? Was it not good enough? And so why would I need to use steroids if I could get an IFBB Pro card and compete as an IFBB Pro in the Natty Federation? But there was none. I had no opportunity. And so I decided to use performance-enhancing drugs, and I did get my Pro card. And that's where we're at today. For real, he looks for any chance to prove someone isn't natty. Bro told us he isn't natty. Next, James English. Greg, with all due respect, if you could turn back time and do things over again, there's no chance in hell you would have stayed natty. There is absolutely a chance. I mean, there has to be a chance. Like, you're saying there's zero chance that I would be natural if I could do it all over again. James English, I think, is perhaps, I'm going to guess he's 27. Max. Young. When I was his age, 100% natural. Wasn't on steroids at all. When I was his age, I wasn't even considering using steroids. There was no need. I was winning everything. There wasn't the same pressure there is right now. There wasn't SARMs and peptide sites everywhere. People weren't posting photos on Instagram. Instagram didn't even exist yet. And so there was no need for steroids. Now, Dura said the exact same thing. Al Dura, he was sitting next to me, he said, there's no way that you wouldn't use steroids if you were to go back in time right now. No, I would not. I mean, I know myself. I'm 50 years of age. I remember being a young James English around his age, not as talented as him in bodybuilding and so on, but I remember being a young guy. And I remember how my brain used to think back then in comparison to now. And as a 50-year-old now, I value living longer than last time. Like, it's at the forefront of my thoughts. I'm thinking, I want to be 90 years old. I really want to live a long time. My life is so amazing that I don't want to see it go away. Like, I don't want to end it here. It's so fun. Perhaps I enjoy my life more than 99% of people. I don't know. But to think that I could shorten it, that steroids perhaps have taken years off of my life, it really sucks. James, when you are older, when you're 50 years old, like Coach Greg, and like 25 years from now, you're not going to look back and say, you know, I wish I had blasted more gear. I wish I had started younger. I wish I had done more pro shows. I wish I had competed in the Olympia. You don't care. It doesn't matter. You know, at 50, you care about how do you feel? Do you still look good in general? Do you have a lot of energy? I mean, for example, I was in a bike race this morning. Got 7th place. It was a stacked field, but it was fun. And so I feel like 7th place against these young guys, I'm doing really good. And so if I were still blasting steroids, I could have been. I stopped years ago. I'm only on HRT. I could be still bodybuilding. I could still be competing. I could have bigger biceps than last time, but notice that I am not. And so is that not evidence that I actually wouldn't be using steroids?
Guys, did I fall off? Is this true? Have I had a generational fall off? Is this true? Please don't let it be true. How could you say that to this face?
When you get criticized by people, all you need to do is lean into it. You don't say, I did something wrong, I made a mistake. You just lean into it. Essentially, if you don't give a shit about what other people think of you, life is easy. This is what I do. This is my advice. And so Luke is most likely thinking, well, I don't care what people think of me. I'm not saying he has to give a shit about my comment. Oh, Greg thinks that I shouldn't have hopped on steroids. So, well, that's fine. I'm not asking him to change his entire life. I'm saying it's too bad. Perhaps other people will see my comment and they'll second guess themselves and say, no, maybe I shouldn't also go on steroids. If we look at his physique, it doesn't look like somebody that needs steroids. Like he's kind of already looking pretty jacked. It's possible he's already on steroids here. I don't know how long it's been since he started, but it doesn't look like a physique that needs steroids. I mean, how many of you watching this would be happy if you got to this level? Probably 99% of you. And so he didn't need the steroids. Here he is with genetic anomaly. Like, look at the size of these guys. And so when you're standing next to genetic anomaly, you feel small. I mean, essentially every person in the world would, except a very chosen few, are going to feel small next to him. Is it not possible that you're natural, you hang out with genetic anomaly, you see the massiveness of his muscles, his chest, everything is crazy, he's also shredded, and you're thinking, I'm not enough. Why would you need to use steroids? If you felt like you're enough, why add in the steroids? Like, make it make sense. And so my personal belief is that you start thinking, no, I'm not good enough. I need to be better. My fans are going to go to other people who are perhaps more shredded, people perhaps they're on HRT or whatever, and they're not going to follow my content. Even though he's already got over 1 million followers, perhaps it's not enough. The more followers you get, you start comparing yourself to other people with more followers. And so you get to 1 million, rather than being satisfied, the hedonic treadmill, it moves forward. And you're thinking, well, I need to get further. I need 2 million followers, 3, 4, 5. It's never enough. And so you use steroids to get a more eye-catching physique. Perhaps he wants a little bit more mass, to get a little bit more shredded. And so when you're presented with photos, you stay a little bit longer and it gets you more views. It could be as simple as that. Most certainly, if you're on performance-enhancing drugs or thinking about it, please go to AlgoRx. Everything is FDA approved. They can prescribe you peptides, for example, GLPs, enclomiphene, Cialis, Viagra, telmisartan, things for your hair. Whatever it is that you need, please go and check them out and compare their prices to Merrick Health. You gotta compare and see how much money you're gonna save. You're gonna thank me later. You wanna save even more money, you can use code Greg for 10% off. Don't forget, these medications come from a compounding pharmacy. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch any of those two boops. And if you want to get sponsored to get onto my team, if you want to carry the supplements into your store, if you want to get coached by myself and my team, please click the link in the description and apply right now. And until next time, I am out.